What's up, y'all? So this is part two of the life of Justin Kasey Juarez, and this is my life. So I'm just making this video, because you only live once, and I've had a lot of encounters where I almost passed away. So I was planning on making a book, but I'm just gonna make this, and I like this backdrop that I got right now, and so I'm gonna hopefully try to finish this up while I got this backdrop. So it's part two. So like I was just always being watched by everybody. Um, we had this neighbor across the street because my grandfather, he was on hospice, because he had cancer, and that's the only way that I ever knew him as, because he was always on his hospice bed in the room, and the only really remember moment I have actually holding him or being near him was whenever I broke this vase at the house and my mom chased me and I ran to my grandpa and he just saved me. He told her not to hit me. And then that was about it really that I remember from him. But I just know that he's always, been around. And he was a great man. He was a kind gentleman. My grandma said he was very temperamatic, so he was very quiet, but if you I guess messed with him or his woman, he I guess found this rage inside of him that I guess he would just beat people up or something, like my Theo Chris and stuff, he beat up all his uncles and cousins, so he just beat people up. But my grandpa, he really just beat the shit out of people if they mess with him. But he, for the most part, he was a good guy that was calm and collected. And people mess around and find out. That's really what it is. I could assume with my grandfather because he was a great guy. Um, and so that's all I really remember. Uh, I remember the day that he passed away. I was around 3 years old, and I didn't remember what happened. I just remember going to HEB with my tiabo, and then we came back, and then everybody was at the house, and then I remember playing Apple Jacks or whatever that Jacks game with the bouncy balls with my cousin, and then they had a funeral session for him, and then I was just always being watched by Lena at the time, and she was this older African lady that lived next door at this house next door on Trinity Street in Lockhart, Texas. And she would just watch me every day. And my mom would go to work at the Starline Stockade. And, I just be there at this older lady's house. And, if anyone, please, if you are Lena's grandchild, please reach out to me because I would love to talk to you. If you just know an older African lady named Lena that lived in Lockhart on Trinity Street, please reach out to me because, it wasn't the greatest time, really, but I just remember one time, she had grandchildren come over. It was only one time, I think, maybe two times. I think two times they came over. There was three kids, and they hung out with me. And they hung out with me. Like, it was only 2 times that they came over, but they hung out with me. Cause every day, every day I just be there, like, just bored, and I'd just be staring out the window of there was this big door, the front door. It was like a window door. So then there's a screen door, so I'd stare at the screen door. I just see like my tia Bo, because she was younger, just like go into the house, or come out, or her and her boyfriend go in the house and come out. I'd just be like, it's like, come and get me, like, just through the door, like, come and get me, just cry, like, like, why would you get me? And, I would, the only cartoon that was available was, I'd have to watch the news all day until The Simpsons came on at like 6 o'clock. And that was my life, basically, as a child. And I'd also, whenever I was around like 3 and 4, that's when I started making art. It was with these like markers that you blew into and stuff. I would just like go around the house and just blow on the walls and stuff. And that was me making art. Like, and I remember that, like, I was like still like, I just remember blowing the stuff around, and I remember like being in a little crib. So like I was probably like, still a little baby. Like, I don't really remember about what age that happened at. Maybe younger than 3 or 4. I don't know, but that's when I started making art. And so yeah, Lena would watch me every day. And then my mom, there's these people that we knew that would sometimes watch me. And I just remember like going to their house, and their rule was like, oh, you can't drink Sunny D in the living room. Like, you can't drink Sunny D in the living room. And I was like, I remember one time I drank Sunny D in the living room. Like, I just remember it. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I do it this late. And they were awesome. They had like a trampoline in the back of their house, and then they had a daughter, and she had a water bed, and she had a turtle, and it was so cool. I thought that was so cool. But that was, they would watch me rarely. But and then shouts out to I forgot what their names were, but they're like these 2 girls, and their mom would watch me when she could, and they were I think they had a video game system. They had an older brother we would go pick up, and we watched Selena. That was like our movie. We loved Selena, and they had a swing set and little popsicles, and it was just, that was cool too. But for a majority of the time, it was always at Lena's. And so the first people I was talking about, the people I couldn't drink Sunny D in the living room, the wife had a job in Austin, and so my mom started going out there, and working in Austin, by just, doing it. And so it was like at some like office building. I forgot what the name was. It was like C or something, like, I forgot what it was called. Um, but it was like an office call center building, and she met my stepdad's brother who was working there, and he came from Morocco, and he was studying to be a doctor of some sort at the time. He didn't know which one he wanted to be at the time, I guess. But he was working there and living in Riverside of Austin. And so his story was like, all that I really know was he's my stepdad's brother, and my stepdad, his mom and father, his mom had his brother with another man, and my stepdad's father basically like disowned him and stuff, and didn't let him stay at the house with my stepdad, and because my stepdad had another brother, but that was like him and his mom and his dad's brother. But his brother, his other brother that was gonna be a doctor, was the one that was disowned. And so basically, he was staying with his grandma, as a kid. And then he came to America and was just working towards being a doctor. And so he basically was like, he told my mom, just like, because I guess my mom was into him. And, he ended up just telling my mom, like, hey, like, I don't really like you like that and stuff. And, but I'm sure my brother would like you. And his brother was in Morocco. So, like, I guess, like, his brother comes to Morocco or something. And I don't really know how it went down. I don't know, but my mom ends up marrying his brother in like 3 months. My mom like supposedly proposed to him, and then they flew to Las Vegas and got married. And you know, I was out there in Austin. I didn't even know what was going on. So yeah, so she basically goes out there, starts working and stuff, meets my stepdad's brother, gets hooked up with my stepdad basically. Um, so now they're dating and whatnot, and so my mom is like, we're out there hanging out with them in Riverside and stuff, and uh, just like they're partying and whatnot. And then I guess that's just what it was. And so like then we ended up moving to Austin, and we moved into an apartment, and then that's when I was like watching myself for a long time. I was like 4 years old, and every day I just like watched myself. Like I just woke up and nobody was there. I was just like, and I would just watch myself, and that happened for a long time. And then around this time was a time where like I had two different girl cousins. They didn't even know each other, actually. That's the crazy thing. One was like on the east side, and then another one was like it was just like basically completely different families. Like, it's just weird. But One of them, whenever my mom would go visit their grandma, uh, she would like unzip my pants and like touch me a lot down there and stuff. And then my mom would be like, "Why are your pants unzipped?" Like whenever we were leaving, I'd be like, "Oh, like, I didn't know what to say." Like I didn't know because like I knew it was kind of wrong at the time because I think I don't know what started first because that happened, a good amount of times, and then I say good, but I just mean that like a bunch of times, and then the making out sessions would happen a lot too. So like I would just like get off the bus in like kindergarten, and then you know one cousin just I don't know just take me outside, and start making out with me like just like so like I don't know which one happened first. Like they happened around the same time. Uh, but I never really got a good discussion about that. Not even with my mom. I tried talking to her about it. I only told her about it when I was really, really fucking high because I had to have this one surgery on my foot, and they dosed me up, and I was really high, and I told her, you know, and I think no, that's not when I told her I tried to kill myself, but um, so uh, yeah, so they were dating, got married, and so I'm just there watching myself, 4 years old and stuff, and I just remember like one time I called the police and they came over, and this it was like this giant like black dude, and he was like, like what the freak, like like where are your parents at? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, how do you call them? I was like, I don't know. Like I'm just here, and cause I called the cops, uh, you know, for the longest time it was cause people thought it was cause I couldn't make ramen noodles. But I had been making mayonnaise sandwiches for myself when I was 2 years old. But I mean, I'm not playing, but I prank called the 911 when I was 4 in Home Alone. So I guess it's not really a prank call because legally he was supposed to take me away. But so they pulled up. He pulled up, and he just ends up like going through the fax machine and like calling numbers, and then I guess he got into my mom's number, and so my mom came like, and then uh he was like, I should take him away, because I don't think this is right, and legally this isn't right. And my mom was like, please don't take him away and all this other stuff. And then you know I just I don't know. My mom was like, don't ever call the cops again. And then I was just back at it, and then I think like probably like a couple months later after that, they were able to get one of my cousins to watch me, and then it kind of just started like where like I had cousins watching me from time to time throughout my life. And you know my favorite was when I got to go hang out with my cousin Jackie and Josh and Patrick. in San Marcos. And, you know, at that time I had already been like so sexually assaulted. And, you know, I just didn't know what was wrong from right, but I liked hanging out, you know. Um, so like at that time, in that first apartment complex, like I just remember like I don't know, it's just weird because like I don't know, but it was just a lot of like there wasn't I don't really remember like a lot of good memories, honestly. Like like maybe it was like I don't know, but I just remember like whenever we go swimming or something, I was always like getting thrown into the pool. Like I couldn't swim, you know, but they would like be on both sides and they would just throw me into the pool and I'd go all the way to the bottom and I'd just be looking up like, you know, just looking up, and then eventually my mom would come down and get me. And that's how they tried to teach me how to swim. And that's just all they try to do whenever they try to teach me how to swim. So long story short, you know, years later I ended up teaching myself how to swim. Um, I will give him credit for teaching me how to ride a bike by taking my training wheels off and pushing me down a hill without no safety equipment, no helmet, no nothing. Not even knowing how to brake. I was just like, I guess that's how you. I don't know. Like it was a big hill. Like it was like we're in Austin. Like we got hills. You know, I was being stuffed in a couch. You know, in between the cushions, just like begging to get out. Getting punched. You know, just be riding in the car. You know, thinking we're not. You know, I'm gonna be with my stepdad at work, and I'm just getting like I'm a kid. Like I'm 5 years old. You know, or 4. I don't even know. I was in like still in kindergarten. Like I couldn't even count 2 quarters. Not even quarters. I think it was like 2 nickels and a dime. You know, like my mom was like rather than help me, you know, I'm a kindergartner trying to work on my homework, and rather than help me, my mom's like, "You don't got no balls. You can't count 2 dimes and a nickel. Like you don't like grow some cojones and shit." And I'm just like, what the, you know, crying. Like I was like, you know, so I was a kid just getting punched, you know, everything. Like 5, 6 years old, 4 years old. But yeah, I taught myself how to swim when I was like some years later, and it was at my tia Janet's community place. They had like a really nice swimming pool, and it had like a level that like gradually went down, and so like I just kept stepping down and stepping down and stepping down, and I just started getting like there, and I started like moving my arms, and I went down, and I was swimming. I was like, wow, I taught myself how to swim. Like, it was so crazy. It was such a great moment. Like, I remember that day. Like, I don't really remember it, but I just remember like how it happened. I just remember just learning how to swim. I was so happy. It was so cool. And so that was awesome. I like staying with my cousins because they're always doing something cool. You know, and I remember one time like at one point me and my uh I rode the bus with like three of my cousins, and one of them was a guy, and he was older, but like I remember I had took some Play-Doh from class, and he was like, "Let me see that," and he starts like throwing it at this girl, and then like I don't know, I guess he started dating her or something. I was like, "Oh dang, my cousin's a player," but yeah, it was cool hanging out with them. Um, I mean, they had to watch me, but it was okay. We played like hide and go seek in the dark. That was so fun, and you know, and then then at one point they had me watch the 13th Ghost, and it gave me nightmares for like 2 weeks straight. Like I had nightmares of like the jackal like running up to me, and like I'm trying to go up these stairs or like the ladder and stuff. Like I just had nightmares every night, and so my tia Janet, she would like give me like a ton of NyQuil every night, like trying to get me to go to sleep. But I just wouldn't go to sleep because I'd be like, I want my mom, because like my mom would come pick me up late night. I'd be like, I want my mom, and just stay up. But yeah, I like over there. I'd eat dog treats and stuff. So yeah, like as a kid, I didn't really have a lot of candy and sweet things. So my candy was like a cut lemon and some sugar. So I'd like put the sugar on the lemon and just lick it, and that was my candy, for a long time. Like, and sometimes I'd get the little tea with the lemon powder and just lick it. That'd be my other candy. So like whenever I go to like my mom's friends' places, they were girls, and they'd have like different flavors of chapsticks. So I'd be like, oh man, like shoot. So I'd just be eating their chapsticks and stuff, just like, man, this is good. Like, and I'd eat dog treats. I was just like, whatever tasted good. I didn't have many options, so I remember I was a kid and I was stealing, bro. Like I was in first grade and I was stealing. Like I stole Mentos before first grade. Actually, I stole Mentos from a store. After that, they had this first grade. We had this school store, where we had to save up stickers, and you get a prize from the school store at the end of the week. And so like I finessed the system, bro. Like I like they would go to our special class, like it'd be like music or PE or art. And so like it just happened one day, like I was like, oh, can I use the restroom, like, and we're heading out. She was like, yeah, just meet us at the, I forgot which one it was. So I was like, all right, so I use the restroom, and so I go out, and I'm like, oh shit, like the school store, so I like went over there. It was a big old jar of Pokemon cards. So I got 2 handfuls, went to my backpack, put them in. There's like these like glow in the dark bouncing balls that look like Saturn and stuff. Took those, took little, and then I started doing this every day. Be like, oh, I gotta use the restroom. So like, and then so at the end of the week, her name was Miss Kent, Kent, and she freaking at the end of the week, I remember coming back from my music class, and she had all the stuff I had took the whole week on my desk, and I was like, whoa. And she was like, so how'd you get all this stuff? I was like, my mom bought them for me. She was like, so if I call your mom, She's gonna say she got you all this stuff. I was like, yeah. I don't know what happened, but I just remember like my parents were very upset. Like my mom was, they're like, oh, like we're gonna leave some candy out and see if you take it and stuff and all this stuff and you know, then yeah, so that happened and just first grade, living my life. Uh, then I just like I didn't know what was going on. Uh, like it was just normal. My mom went to work, and I thought my stepdad went to work and stuff. But you know, I'm 26 now, and I've worked a lot of jobs. And I sure as hell could have made a lot more money than my stepdad could have. Like whatever he was doing. And then like I don't know, it just sucks because like my mom was basically the funder of all his failed businesses. Like he had like in the beginning, like when I was like 5 and stuff, we were like selling FUBUs on the side of the street with some other types of shoes, you know, over there by it's like it's by the it's by like Cameron Road, by Jerry's Artarama and stuff. Um, it was like this Burger King, and it was like right off the freeway exit, and we were just selling shoes there, and that was like the first failed business, and then the second failed business was he got this big van and this big like tank and put it in there, and we started a pressure washing company. And like I was out there with them with all through all this stuff. So like I just don't know how they are so, you know, deceitful and like just like switched up on me. Like I was out there with y'all selling shoes when I was a baby. I was out there with y'all pressure washing in the middle of the night when I was a baby and I had to go to school. Motherfuckers. Like, and y'all some bullshit ass motherfuckers. For real. But, so it was a second failed business, was a pressure washing company. And, I don't know what happened with that. Honestly, I think he was just lazy. He wanted to be a soccer star, and all this other bullshit. He's gonna be some fucking, I don't know. I ain't gonna get upset, but he didn't neither one of them tried to like learn anything or improve their lives in any sort of way. They just had it going on. And I was the one that fucking had to deal with their ignorance and their selfishness every day, not caring about me, just worried about whatever they're worried about, because probably they weren't right for each other. you know she didn't even want him, she didn't even know about him, she wanted his brother. She didn't even give herself a chance to have something better. She just went for somebody that may like her. And it's just sad. It's sad. But what's worse is that I had to live through all the bullshit in between that. So, it's just all fucked up. But so yeah, so basically, failed business. And then like I guess one of his soccer buddies had a Quiznos he was gonna sell, and my stepdad, I guess, somehow rounded up the money and excuse me, he bought it or whatever. And then his friend finessed him, because like all the stuff in the Quiznos wasn't even his friends to begin with. So whenever he tried to sell it, he couldn't even sell it. So, you know, it's just a lot of bullshit, you know? And then they want to be all high and mighty now after so many years of messing up, like 13 plus years of just messing up, doing the same thing. And this whole time, all the only thing he changed, because like out of all these different failed businesses, he was always a taxi cab driver. And the only thing that changed, the only reason why they feel like they're successful now, is because he put on a little tuxedo and he got a little black car. And after 13 years of messing up all of our lives, not trying to do anything structural or anything constructive or skill wise, messing up our lives, two other people's lives along with your bullshit. 13 years. You want to put on a suit and get a black car instead of a yellow car, and now you're successful. I mean, it's whatever. You feel me? It's whatever. Because you know what? Everybody gets their time of day, you know? I'm glad you got to shine however you felt like you were going to shine, buddy. But, you know, it's whatever. It's up in the air. You feel me? If it's up there, it's stuck there. You feel me? Bullshit as Mark. Both of y'all. Both of y'all. But listen. So yeah. They're just messing up everybody's lives. Then they're having affairs on each other. I know he's cheating on her. You know, I didn't know it at the time, but all the other times whenever we had to stay at my aunt's house or my mom was just sad or something and I didn't know what was going on, he was cheating on her. She was finding like condom wrappers and whatever, like really cheating on her, you know, like not caring, and probably gave her STDs, you know. I'm just being honest, you know. And so, yeah, my grandma ended up telling me the truth like 2 years ago. And, you know, because my mom would try to go get medications through my grandma. You know, she'd tell my grandma all her problems, what was going on. And apparently my stepdad didn't like my mom being on this one medication that was actually helping her because it lowered her sex drive for him. Probably because he has a beer belly and he's ugly. But, you know, I'm not going to say anything. But, you know, so she did that for him. But now it's going through, like, all these different medications. And one time she did apologize to me because she was like, oh, I'm sorry, Justin, because, you know, I was on all these meds. And, you know, I know they made me, like, I was like, oh, it's all good. And then